Okay, good morning, everybody. Saturday morning. I'll probably try to post this this evening, Saturday evening. Wanted to show you that I kept my promise and cleaned off Oak Hill, and I intend to keep it clean like that. I am going to sell these two cars. They're both Microtrains cars. The 60-foot plug door box cars. The Southern one actually has graffiti on the back side, which was on it when I bought it. So that's obviously too modern. When I ran it, I would just, because you can only see one side of my layout, I was always just pop it around like that. They're both lightly weathered. I've got the box, the Microtrain boxes. Anyhow, I'm just going to sell them for 10 bucks a piece. I'm just going to stick with 50-foot box cars and smaller for my era. So if you're interested, first come first served in the comments. 10 bucks a piece, and plus you have to pay shipping, which probably be, I don't know, $5-6, something like that, in the continental United States. I'm not going to ship them to Europe or anything. I don't know how much the shipping would be on that, but anyhow, let's go out in the garage and work on the module. Before I went to Indiana, I shoveled a little bit of dirt into a bucket, and then I spread it out in these little plastic containers so it would dry better. So I'm going to sift it through this sifter that my dad had first, and then I'll sift it again to get more fine color. Okay, so in Kentucky, the soil has a very high clay content in a lot of areas. You get western Kentucky and you get some areas where it's more sandy, but eastern Kentucky is a lot of clay. So basically I've already gotten a lot of this sifted, but I've just taken my hand and sort of grinding it against this sifter. This is what I've got so far. That's still nowhere near fine enough to use on the railroad, so I'll sift it again after I get a bigger pile. So after sifting everything I had, I've got a pile this big, and I'm hoping that's going to be enough to cover the module. This is what I have left. I could probably get some more out of that if I'm really aggressively force it through the screen with my hand. But I'm going to go ahead and go to the next grade of sifter and see how much I have after I do that. Okay, I raided my wife's kitchen, and here's the screen. She said I could use it, but when she handed it to me, she said it's my vintage screen, so that makes me a little nervous that I better not tear it up if she calls. Usually something vintage means they have some attachment to it. So we'll see how it goes. Okay, I took one handful of dirt, put it on the screen, sort of worked it through. This is what I have. Not a whole lot. This is what I dumped off the screen. So I'm going to keep on doing it this way, see how much I have. Now, I am going to mix some grout in with this, because one of his tips is if you just use dirt this color, it ends up too dark. So I have to go to Lowe's and get some light colored grout to mix in. So it will go a little bit farther than what it looks like right now. I'm going to keep on working at this, and I'll show you how much of a pile I have when I'm done. Okay, so I set up the tripod so I can sort of show you what I'm doing. So basically I just take like a handful. This is the dirt that was sifted through the sifter. I put it on here, and I am just sort of working it through this. It's a splatter screen from my wife's kitchen. Well, our kitchen, not my wife's kitchen. I occasionally use the microwave. Or make a frozen pizza or something. She's the cook in the family. So, to be honest, I'm probably working too hard for this. I don't know that I need to put as much effort into this. It doesn't look like that's what he does. I could probably just go through this a couple times and to get the stuff out, and then just dump it over here. So this is the stuff that went through the screener. And underneath it is the stuff that I'm screening, and then I'm taking what's left, dumping it onto there. And I'm just methodically working through it. So I'm getting a fair amount of stuff. But again, I don't know if, I mean, dirt is free from my backyard. So I don't know. Maybe I just need to do something like, like I'm doing right now, and maybe do this for about 30 seconds and dump it, and I'd be through this a lot faster. I've been putting like a handful on there, just like working it for like 5 minutes, trying to get everything down through there. That's probably not necessary. Anyhow, this is the process. I had to move it up because my knees were just killing me on the concrete. So when I'm done, I'll show you what I've got left, what I got out of it. Well, I'm not sure how long this took me. I didn't really put a timer on it. Again, like I said, I had the dirt drying in the garage for a week. So on the right in the blue container is the stuff that would not fit through the big strainer. Obviously, there's some real big stuff in there. In the middle is stuff that's left over after going through the splatter guard that my wife loaned me. And on the left is the sifted dirt. There's quite a bit there. There's quite a bit there. So again, what he does is he mixes it with earth-colored grout, which I don't have. So I'm going to have to run over to the store to get some earth-colored grout. It says he does that because if you don't, this ends up being really dark when you wet it. So I can't argue with his results. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go buy some of that. Also, I don't have any of the paste, the Vallejo earth color paste that he uses on the riverbank. Then he sifts the dirt on to get it to stick. So I'm going to get some of that before I can proceed on. If I had a 50-foot by 28-foot double-deck layout, I wouldn't do this. I'll be honest with you. I don't care how good it looks on his modules. I just don't see me spending this much time just to get ground cover. I don't know how good or how big of a difference it's going to make, is what I should say. So I'll find out. I mean, and I may use this technique on my little switching layout. But, when you have a really big layout like that, you just have to make, some compromises sometimes, and you can't. It's not like building a tiny little diorama, when you have something like that. So I've seen some 50-foot by 30-foot layouts that have fabulous scenery on them. So, there's just many different techniques to get great-looking scenery. But I'm trying this. I'm trying to stretch my wings a little bit, learn some new stuff on this module. So hopefully you're finding this interesting. I'm going to stop here. I had to go to the stores, get some stuff. Got to help my wife a little bit too. So hopefully I get back on this evening. Okay, so I'm back from Lowe's. This is probably more grout than I'll use in a lifetime. But he said he wanted a light color. So I found this one called Biscuit. There were several different beiges, but this one was about the lightest I could find. He doesn't really give a formula in his video, but I'm going to use about a 50-50 mix to see what that looks like. Alright, the next step is to take some brown paint. He uses this stuff, Vallejo. I couldn't find it. Went to the art supply store, they didn't carry Vallejo. So I'm going to try this acrylic craft paint. It says earth brown. So I'm going to do basically I'm just going to do the riverbank. So I'm going to paint this. Just do the one side. Try to really get it in there, all the little nooks and crannies, kind of thick. should be pretty wet. Got a pretty thick coat on here. I'll set this off to the side. I'm going to take my dirt mixture, which I think is really light, but you know, you can always do it again if it doesn't work. And I'm going to sprinkle it. Maybe I actually put extra dirt in this because I was worried about it being too light. He says that when you put the water on this stuff, it gets darker, so we'll see. I'm going to put, try to get a little spoon, and I want to get it up underneath the riverbank. So I tilted the diorama up on the edge like that, and I sprinkled on the grout and dirt mix to where it's so it can get up, completely up on the edges of the bank. I think it looks way too light. I'm going to wait and see how this pans out on this side, and before I do the other side anyhow. I think my dirt mix is too light, so maybe I went too light with my grout. But my dirt was a lot lighter than his starting out too, so maybe that's what I should have not worried about his tips about starting with a dark grout or light grout. Maybe I should have just got more of a grout that was my color, dirt color. So I may just try those out with just pure dirt and see what that looks like. So on the right is dirt mixed with grout. It's probably about 60% dirt, 40% grout. And on the left is pure sifted dirt. I think the dirt looks better. I don't think it's a fault with Luke's method, because I watched the video and see his method is right. I think I bought too light of grout. Of course, you have to buy a pretty good sized bag of it that'll last you forever, and it was like $18. So I just think that my dirt is a little bit lighter than his. But like I said, I'm going to be wetting this down and fixing it in place, so we'll see what happens when I wet it down. I'm not going to go any farther on this until I see the results. I'm going to let this dry, then I'm going to wet it down and fix it in place, and we'll see what it looks like. Well, upon further review, I decided that the original one was too light, but the pure dirt one was too dark. So I mixed up some more stuff and redid both sides. I just knocked off a lot of the dirt that was on there, and I just painted brown over it again, and now I'm just letting it dry. Now this stuff here, most of this stuff is loose, so it's not going to be there when I'm done. But so I probably won't get this video posted Saturday night, probably on Sunday. But I went back, like I said, watched his video again, and his dirt mixture was a lot lighter than the dirt over here, and wasn't as light as mine original was those. So anyhow, live and learn. That's why I'm doing this. Again, that's why I'm doing this, to learn. So hopefully, excuse me, hopefully you guys are learning from it too. Okay, so I've cleaned the excess off of the module. So now I've got some diluted Mod Podge on here with water, and I'm going to brush it on. And sprinkle the dirt on. So I don't think you need to see me brushing all this on. You get the idea. It's going to be pretty wet. And then I'll show you when I sprinkle the dirt on this half. So I'm going to take some of the screened bigger pieces, and he suggested to maybe sprinkle some on now before you sprinkle the dirt on, they might have a better chance of staying. So I'm just going to sprinkle a few of these around. You know, represent like dead trees, shrubs, things like that. Don't want to overdo it too much. Just add a little texture. All right. There's another new experience. Went to the Dollar Tree and bought some knee highs. So don't judge me. Yeah, so I've got my sifted dirt. So now I'm going to sprinkle this over. Let's see how this works. It's working pretty good. Just trying to cover everything. He comes back later and sprays this with rubbing alcohol and, you know, glues it down again. So, all right, I'm going to do the same to the other side. I don't think you need to see that, but I'll show you what it looks like when it's done. So I took the phone off the tripod so I could get in a little bit closer. So this is what it looks like so far. I have to admit, it's kind of fun. I sort of liked doing this. So again, watching the video, I think the next thing is that I'm going to let this dry and then spray it with rubbing alcohol and glue it down even better. And then he starts working on putting the bridge in, putting the track in. But I may wait till a little bit later to do that. I may wait till after I pour the river before I do it, because my bridge and track are all in one piece. They'll all sit right in there. I do have to clean up that bridge abutment though. Hopefully that stuff will come off it. If not, I'll just have to repaint it again and touch it up. So that's going to be it for now. I don't want to get too far gone, so I'm going to give an update on Chance and post the video. Okay, so here's Chance on the backyard. He's definitely gaining weight. His hair looks better, fur looks better. But he's having a lot of seizures. You know, I bet we've already had, gosh, I don't know, 7 or 8 today. They said as long as they don't last more than 5 minutes and they're not violent, then it's okay. It's just his body getting rid of the dead heartworms. But again, it's really scary. We try to see it coming on if we can and catch him before he falls. Don't always do that, but he's definitely not trotting around as much as he used to, which is good. We're supposed to keep him calm. Diarrhea has gotten much better with the medicine they gave him, and actually I thought maybe the medicine was contributing to the seizures, because they seem to have gotten much worse since we put him on the diarrhea medicine. But they said nope, this is just to be expected, and again, unless they're really long or he really thrashes around, we're just going to have to deal with it. A couple times, sorry about the helicopters flying over. Sometimes he loses control of his ladder. He'll just pee on the rug when he happens. He does collapse and pee. But you know, told my wife when all this was over, we'll get somebody to come in and clean the carpet, and we're trying to manage it as well as we can. But I think he's going to make it, but it's just he still has a long road. I've heard some people say that it takes up to 6 months to get completely through this, and there may be some permanent damage to the lungs. So that's the Chance update for today. Everybody stay safe.